Yeah, road trip to Oral Roberts in Kansas City. It really felt like our guys took a step defensively, uh, played better, played better on both ends of the floor. It's a really good team with Oral Roberts, and they have some different challenges offensively from a guy like Max Asmus, but they can really spread you out. I thought we defended them pretty well, kept ourselves in the game by not turning it over. Gave ourselves a chance at the end, and we had a great look from Matt. We had great looks throughout. We took 39 threes that game, and it's probably a little bit more how we got to play. Maybe not always 39, but we've got to be a team that isn't afraid to look for their shot when we got open looks, and had some great ones throughout. But we had a really good one to finish it well when we just didn't knock them down, and they made the play down the stretch. But Kansas City, you're basically, you got two teams that are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum when you go from Oral Roberts to Kansas City. Oral Roberts doesn't force many turnovers, and Kansas City forces a lot, and just a different style of play. I thought we adjusted, kind of midway through the first half to the style, got back in the game, actually took a lead, but then we were down one at halftime. And then just that run to start the second half, that second half, I think they went on about a 23-7 run or so. That just put us in a hole. Obviously, I got dismissed from that game a little bit early, and that's on me. But our guys showed a lot of fight to come back from it. But you don't want it to have to be a result of getting ejected from a game that gets us going. But they fought back. We gave ourselves an opportunity down two, I think, with just under 2 minutes left to play, and again had chances to make the plays, and Kansas City made them, and we didn't. But again, I thought there were some good steps that we took defensively on this trip. The Gilliard kid played great. We did a really good job on Max Asmus, but the Gilliard kid just did a really good job making some tough shots and some plays that I thought really separated Kansas City from us in that second half. So now we got, the best statistically offensive team in the country on Thursday in South Dakota State. They can score you. They can score from a lot of different spots with a lot of different people at very high percentages. So that brings a whole different challenge to it. Similar to like Oral Roberts, except they'll just score inside probably a lot more than what Oral Roberts would do as well. So they can get you in and out at a high efficient rate, and then we'll get a second chance at USD on Saturday. Tough. I just got a lot of respect for how they're playing and the toughness they're showing, and we know we're going to have a battle on our hands on Saturday. So it's going to be a really good opportunity for our team to go out and play against two really good teams in their floors. So let's go play. Questions?
Injuries, et cetera, do you have to change up your game plans much to go down there as you go to the second half of the conference season?
We're trying to do a little less of that. I think we were experimenting a lot, through the course of, coming from Florida back, and then with some injuries and different things. I think there were some things we were trying to do to see how we needed to play, and I think we're finding more or less how we need to play defensively. So we want to stay a little more consistent with that, not change up a lot. But you still got to make your subtle changes here and there according to your opponent. Offensively, a little bit the same. I think offensively, and our numbers show it, we're improving, we're getting better. Teams are going to focus more on Paul, and they're doing a good job with that. So he's learning how to kind of fight through being a guy that's a little more of a target on offense. But I thought Brian did a really nice job against Kansas City. I think we got, with T and with Brian, we got a couple guys that can give us a presence inside more, and we're going to need that presence moving forward. I think Sotenay's shown that he can. Just getting more consistency from him would help, and Brian's battle in the back, and I thought you could see that his back felt pretty good on Saturday. His energy was good. He rebounded well. He got to the free throw line. So that's an area that I think we got to keep working and focusing on, and getting more production from our inside game. And then, I think we're getting pretty good looks. We just got to, we got a couple guys I think shooting at a pretty good percentage, but we got some guys that I think that can do a better job of making some open threes, which will help. But it's getting better offensively. I think there's been improvement there.
Ethan mentioned that
Yeah.
you guys have to adjust moving forward. As a coach, kind of, how do you, I guess, coach that, the ability to finish up games?
Experience is big. It just is. Guys that have been through it and been through it and been through it. And right now, when you look at our top 3 scorers in league play, they're all 3 new guys going through this for the first time. And it was great to see Ethan's production this last weekend because we need him to be more like he was. And that's kind of been our challenge to him. I got a pretty high respect for the kind of kid Ethan is. And from what he did last year to this year, what we saw this last weekend is what's more expected from him. And I don't mean just scoring 17 and 18. I mean defensively, I thought he really brought more to us. So, we need more from him that way, and I think it was great to see it from him this weekend. So hopefully moving forward, there's a better consistency from him offensively. And just with getting Caleb back, another veteran guy, I'm hoping that helps. He made a couple shots, but, defensively, he's still trying to just get his legs underneath him. But closing games is making plays. It's making shots. It's making the right play offensively, defensively. It's getting that stop, or more importantly, it's getting that defensive rebound. Or just as importantly, it's not turning it over. And the Western Illinois game's a game that, we gave up 22 points off turnovers. Well, you got it down to a 1-possession game, and we've given away 22 points off turnovers. It's hard to close those games, and we turned it over in the end when we had a chance to tie it. So just we've got to do a better job of closing, and we need our veteran guys to do a better job of leading by example with that, not getting casual, but then making those plays. And the process is what the process is, and you get it through experience. And guys like Paul and Matt and T, they're, Reed Grant, who hasn't played as much since Caleb returned, but he's still doing a good job. We need to continue to find him time on the floor. But, we need guys making some of those plays to finish.
You touch on Nero coming back a little bit in that last one. Can you just kind of add on to what that means to your team to have him back?
Well, yeah, it gives you a veteran body that's played a lot of games, that's made a lot of shots, that I think, like I said, from the defensive side of the floor, we need Caleb to be a guy that hasn't had 6 weeks off. So, we need him to come back to get to a spot where guarding the ball and being away from the ball and knowing your assignments away from the ball. But it helps because he is a guy that can score it. And he can make the right play offensively. He's a guy that can utilize a ball screen. He's got some dynamic abilities off the bounce to attack and put some pressure on the rim, which we don't have as much when he's not out there. So that's been helpful. But with that foot, he just hasn't been able to practice a lot. So, he's now going on his 2nd week where he's put together now probably 4 or 5 practices, which is really helpful to him. So it's great to have him back, no doubt, and we're going to need him down this stretch run.
You talked about the Jacks being an efficient offense earlier. Defensively, what's the plan specifically to slow down their three-point shooting this weekend?
You gotta pick your poison against that team. They make you pay if you overhelp in the post. I think Dentlinger is shooting almost 80% league play from the field, or maybe higher, in the post. And then Apple is shooting at a high percentage in the post. And, oh, by the way, Doug Wilson's was Player of the Year 2 years ago, and he's one of the guys in the post that's really hard to guard one-on-one. So they got 3 guys that are really difficult they're highly efficient inside to play one-on-one. So when you choose to help, then you need to rotate. You need to be great taking away threes, because they're just really good three-point shooters. Their statistics are just ridiculous when it comes to what kind of shots they get. And that inside presence allows that to happen a lot. Overhelping, doubling, they can pick you apart that way. So you got to pick your poison on how you want to guard them. Are you taking away threes, or are you going to try to take away their bigs? If you try to take away both, that's the trick. And if you can maybe slow them down. It's just not a lot of teams have had success doing that. Unless you got a lot of 6'8", 6'9", just high-level athletes flying around. That's probably the best way to do it, and that's how teams like Alabama and some of those teams have had success against them. But Alabama had to play really, really well to beat SDSU that night. So, they got a really good mix of inside-outside and highly efficient. Number 1 efficient team out of 358. So that's pretty good.